Authors Press.
Okay, my name is Ben. I'm at the Authors Press booth at London Book Fair 2022. I'm with Barbara, the author of the fantastic On the Island with Charles Darwin. Thank you for being with us today, Barbara.
Thank you, Ben, for having me. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Nice to see you. And is this your first trip to London?
Yes, this is my first trip to London, and I'm so happy to tell you that we rented a car and we drove all over England.
Oh, excellent. Where did you visit?
Oh, we visited the home of Charles Darwin.
Of course.
We visited the home of Isaac Newton, and we visited the home of Edward Jenner.
Now, I must say, I've been in London for 10 years and in the UK for nearly 40 years, and I still haven't visited either Darwin or Newton's houses. So that's quite impressive, actually.
Thank you.
You made the effort to do so.
I came for the purpose.
Yeah. And was it anything in addition to what you expected, visiting the houses, or?
Ben, listen to me. It was exactly as I had envisioned it when I wrote my books.
Excellent.
Unbelievable.
Cool, that's great. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right, thank you, Ben. I'm a science teacher of 49 years, and I like to tell people, they think, oh, I would never tell anybody, because that's a long time. But I loved teaching, and I love teaching science. And all that experience of teaching science from the perspective of the scientists who discovered it is recorded in my books.
Excellent. So we're talking about this one today, On the Island with Charles Darwin, which is a lovely cover, I might say.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit about this book in particular?
Well, Charles Darwin traveled in 1850s on the Beagle. Everybody knows this.
Great name, the Beagle. I
know, right?
Yeah, it's cute.
So, at the time, England was sending naturalists out on their exploratory ships. And Charles Darwin said, yeah, I'm going. He went on the Beagle. He told his wife, Miss Wedgwood, yes, as in Wedgwood, China, I'm going to be gone for 3 years. Wait for me.
Wow.
He was gone for 5 years, and the trip went to the Galapagos Islands. And I went to the Galapagos Islands.
Have you been? Wow. No.
Yes. And I didn't go on a cruise ship.
Sure.
I went onto the island, rented a villa, and stayed on the island. I actually got a job at the Charles Darwin Center.
Oh, wow.
Amazing, because the Galapagos Islands are trying to preserve the tortoises.
I've seen the size of them. They're huge.
They're huge.
On TV, yeah.
Yes, and they're trying to get them to mate and the babies grow up. So I got a job at the Charles Darwin Center while I'm on the island.
Awesome.
Now, fast forward to my book.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Charles Darwin goes to Galapagos Islands. He collects specimens on the island. In my books, I add a fictional character who builds a relationship with my scientist, and then the two of them discover the science.
Yep.
So my little hero in my book shows Darwin, well, here's our turtle, and Darwin says, well, look at these turtles I've collected. And the little naturalist says, oh yeah, this one's from this island, this one's from this island. What do you mean? Well, every island had their own finches.
Sure.
They had their own tortoises. And Darwin goes, oh, adaptation to their environment.
Yeah, the beaks were slightly changed.
Yes, exactly, Ben. Thank you for remembering. Yes. So all that's captured in my book.
Excellent.
And my book finishes when Darwin leaves the island. And fast forwards maybe 10 years later when my young naturalist now has his own family.
Oh, fantastic.
And he's sharing his experience with his children that he had met Darwin and had fallen in love with this fabulous man.
And what an experience!
Story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. And now this is a question that we ask most of our authors. But have you ever Googled yourself?
Well, yes, and besides Google, I have an Amazon page, I have a YouTube channel.
Excellent.
So, a lot of my books now are live on YouTube. They have trailers, they're called trailers. So, yes.
Yeah, that's good. And it's
but I do want your listeners to know I have 25 books on Amazon, yes, and with Authors Press.
Quite a collection,
Yes.
Excellent. When did you write your first book?
Well, my first novel that was picked up by Authors Press is Traveling with Isaac Newton. And this one's important because, and your audience will know this, Isaac Newton taught us about force and motion, friction, gravity. So traveling, it makes so much sense in my mind. He and my heroine go on a trip together with her family, and they go to the coast of England. So traveling, force and motion, friction, mass. Yes.
Excellent. And I've read it. It's fantastic, I must say.
Oh,
quite enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Being an Englishman as well, it's nice to see.
Well, I'm here at the London Book Fair because my scientists are British.
Exactly.
I have Isaac Newton from Woolsthorpe, Charles Darwin from Down, and Edward Jenner from Berkeley, which we pronounce in Texas Berkeley.
Okay, that's acceptable, I think.
Thank you.
Fair enough. And in terms of your writing process as well, I know it differs from author to author. Are you a typewriter person, computer, pen? How do you work?
Isaac Newton was on a pad of paper with a pencil. Pen. And I was on holiday to the coast of Mexico. And I went, well, would it work in England to look out over the ocean and see what they saw on their travels? And since I went to Isaac Newton's house, I went, oh my God, it was exactly as I envisioned it.
That's good.
Same thing. So I write with a computer mostly, but when I'm inspired, I look for a pen and a piece of paper. Give me the back of this. For one thing, Through the Microscope of Antoni van Leeuwenhoek was a computer, and the whole book flew out of my brain in 1 week.
Oh, really?
So once I've become inspired, I have to sit down and record it. I don't want to lose any of my inspiration.
In the moment,
In the moment.
Oh, excellent. Okay. And in terms of being inspired to write, is there anyone that does inspire you? Like any other authors, or is it
all the scientists?
Right.
Yes, my scientists inspire me.
And is it correct that they used to be known as natural philosophers in the day? Is that the term?
Natural philosophy was their study.
Right.
I don't remember science coming into being, but natural philosophy.
A bit later on,
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So in terms of inspiration, what books have you read that have inspired you personally?
Well, I myself like biographies. I like biographies of scientists. I read a lot of science. Right now, I'm on a big rabbit hole. I'm studying Galileo, amazing life, and the pressures that were put on him by society. So that's been a difficult read. Is that he's so learned. He knows all this. He's writing it all down. He's so smart man. So that inspires me. I'm like, ooh, I love Galileo. Yes.
And have you ever considered writing anything about Galileo?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. In fact, some of our salespeople here today have said, "Oh, we want you to write about our scientists from Wales," and we want, we want you to write about our scientists from Scotland. So I'm like, okay, give me some names. I'm there. I know. And another question is, where is your next book going to come from?
Sure.
So, in my brain right now are many books flowing in my brain.
I'm sure.
Okay, what's next?
Yeah. And actually, I've been at the fair for 2 days now, and I've seen a few people walking around with Kindles and electronic devices, reading books and swiping and things like that. How do you feel about electronic books and Kindles?
That's fine. However people read, whatever people want. Now, I love books, so I want children to have books, but we also know that our population is more comfortable with the technology.
Sure.
Simply, okay, I can. So yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. Good to hear. Do you dedicate your books to anyone?
Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry. Sure, all my books are dedicated. This one is dedicated to my husband, who loves me unconditionally, so he has to put up with this person who is high energy, go.
Yep.
But also to my son, who is the only child who shared his childhood with my passion for science.
Oh, good. Excellent. Okay. And where can we find your books?
My publishing house is Authors Press. So Authors Press.
Excellent. Well, as I say, I've read one. I look forward to reading many more.
I want you to read them.
Yeah, I'm a fan of science, and it's nice to hear about the people behind the science.
Yes. And the other thing I want to tell you, Ben, what I love about my books, I've already told you, there's a scientist, that's real.
Sure.
That's real. That's history.
That's important, yeah.
But I introduce a fictional character.
Yeah.
And the relationships I build between my scientist and my fictional character are so sweet. Oh my goodness, they're so sweet. That's the treasure. Well, the science is the treasure, but the relationships is also a treasure of my books.
Yeah, it's nice to see the journey throughout. Well, thank you for coming, Barbara. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for interviewing me. I appreciate it.
No problem.